Hello and welcome to Clairvoyant Conversations. I am Solreta, ANTARIA. Tonight we are going to be doing a quick reading for the collective. Lots of interesting energies going on, lots of change and lots of movement forward going forth for 2021. We're still kind of at that start of the year, although we are underway into February now. So it will be interesting to see what we have, because planetary wise there is a lot going on too, in terms of new things coming to surface, old things kind of being exposed, truths coming to the surface, the deeper, darker side of things also coming up to the surface too. So I want to have a look into the week ahead. Hello. Hi, Linda. Lovely to see you on here. We're just waiting for a couple more people to join us, but we will be picking some cards to do with the week ahead. All right, let's have a look. All right, so we've got 3 cards picked for the week ahead. We will also be picking some other cards. Also, for those of you that are just joining, hi Jason, lovely to see you here. Hi Chris. Oh, your birthday next week. Hi Chloe. Hi Val. Oh, thank you, beautiful. You're so sweet. Feeling a bit Atlantean tonight. So I feel like there's past life energies coming up. Also, we are in Mercury retrograde. So I don't know if any of you noticed like the last week that we were going into Mercury retrograde. We've just only recently gone in, but usually I feel it's sort of like in the shadow stage. So I'll have blasts from the past come up. Hi Lisa, beautiful to see you here. Yeah, so looking out for those blasts for the past while we're in Mercury retrograde, looking out for technical difficulties, computer malfunctions, internet going down, lights and power going out, things like this is what we usually expect with Mercury retrograde. And the bonus is if we look into what's happening astrology wise, we're also able to kind of, plan or carve out an easier backup plan. So with Mercury retrograde, it's knowing that you'll probably hear from exes from the past. I also had that happen myself the other week. So yeah, expect the unexpected is kind of the energy for Mercury. So we've picked 3 cards. I do have a couple of other decks because I feel like I really want to get into different decks. Yeah, number synchronicities too, Jason. So true. I'm seeing a lot of 747, seeing a lot of 333 and 444, 555. So just having a look. All right, the first thing that I hear when we go into this first card, and we're going from now, they're saying from today, but they're also really coming into this heart center and going into this week. We will do personal reads in a minute. We're just doing a collective one right now. So the energy that I feel, and I hear the words, our angels are with us, is the energy. So really calling on your spiritual team right now. Our guides have sort of taken a back seat compared to the way that they used to be in the years past. 2021 was kind of like they're loosening the reins and they're letting us really navigate around in this dimension by ourselves. So not seeing as many guides close up around people as what I would in the aura drawings that I do and with the the psychic readings, but yeah, definitely like seeing them sort of take a back seat. It's like they're giving us the water bottles, they're giving us the floor plan to how this game is played out here on earth. Hello to beautiful people just joining us too. We'll be doing some readings. We're just doing collective at the moment, so let's feel into also what we get midweek. I'm also seeing the energy of a waterfall, and I'm hearing them say when it rains, it pours. So what I'm seeing is that angelic energy stepping in, surrounding us and holding us in that space, and to focus on this energy. And they're talking about focusing on this intensity too. So it's really being selective about what energies and frequencies you want to focus on. With this waterfall energy coming in, it really is, sorry, my son is dancing around in the background. So what I'm seeing with the waterfall energy come in, let me just see. Yeah, they're saying the words, when I tune into this waterfall, when it rains, it pours. Oh, thank you so much, Carol. I really appreciate you sharing. Thank you. So what I'm seeing with this energy, rain in or pour, so they're talking about this can be positive and negative. So really get attuned to your frequencies and really try and like resolve things. And what I mean by that is, clean out the cupboards, different energies like that, jobs that you've been putting off. Maybe it's like doing taxes or trying to kind of like find storage solutions and things. I feel like this is kind of like the jobs, because it's almost like getting into preparation. So it's like when you start to do one thing, you really want to have, oh, thank you. That's so sweet, Dee. Um, yeah, when you have one thing come up, it's like if we can deal with it and kind of put a lid on it, it's going to stop that overflow energy. And that's what I'm seeing when they say rains at pause. Thank you, Jason. And just looking into, I just got goosebumps when I put my hands over the end of the week. I feel like what we are going to come out of in terms of like the Mercury retrograde cycle, I think it's taking it past the end of the week. I'm sort of seeing by the end of kind of like this 2 week phase that we're in, so sort of mid February, even to the end, I feel that we're coming out different to what we were going on the end side of it. So whether we're leaving some of 2020 away and we're really stepping into 21. Let's flip these cards and see what we've got. Okay. Oh, interesting. So the one where we talked about having the angels around us is this beautiful card. So we have this card of power. And this orange energy really speaks to me about confidence. We can see that there's a lot of sunlight. So angels are said to be from the sun. This is said to also be called Helios, and it's meant to be a dimensional space where the angels reside. There's also some NASA pics that were up years and years ago that had the faces of angels that were photographed in the I'm not sure what you call it, the corona ejection, I think you call it, off the sun. So we do have this energy with Capricorn. We've got earth, air, fire and water coming together with this. So this to me is like four of disc. It feels quite solid on the ground. So really kind of like holding strong. This sometimes will represent to me like batten down the hatches, or it will show kind of like a foundation or something that's established, is also an energy that I sometimes feel with this. What I also feel is this is about being frequency specific. So if we think about our energy field as a castle and we think about who we allow into this energy space, this is super important to go in line with the Mercury retrograde. So really making sure that we're kind of the master or the gatekeeper of our own domain, and choosing who we, those that have done us wrong in the past too. It's really looking at, should I be giving my energy? Should I be giving my frequency to theirs? Is there bringing me down? Because we really want to look at maintaining this frequency, because you really establish what feels to be a good energy, a good kind of like foundation going forth into the week. The energy that we have midweek is Prince of Discs. So we were talking about like when it rains it pours. So this is a Taurian card. We can see there's a lot that's happened in the past sort of collecting. And if we talk about waterfalls and we talk about that influx of energy, this to me is almost like spirit or energy and feeling being collected and being gathered. And then all of a sudden it's like when we don't, you know how we're talking before about organization and dealing with things as they come up, if we don't sort of deal with it as it comes up and it starts to like trickle in, we want to make sure that we've built that dam. So I feel this is the kind of energy. So things that may have felt like a roadblock, you may have roadblocks, or you may be having roadblocks open up. So I feel this energy with this. It is in alignment with Venus and Taurus. So Taurus is one of the slow moving cards. So sometimes they're a bit late to the party. So you might say be at the party at 7 o'clock and it might be 11:30 and Taurus is just rocking up as the party's kind of winding down. Can sometimes be the case. Taurus energy sometimes can be more inclined towards like the material side of things. So looking at that through the week, especially when you're collating and going through and clearing out, because I really feel that Mercury retrograde is a time for reassessment. It's a time for us to like collate and kind of collectively get rid of and purge things that we no longer need. It's almost like it brings it to our attention, and it also brings to our attention things that we no longer resonate with or have that frequency with. It can also bring up argumentative type things and conflict. Not always, but sometimes you might feel like you want to hide under the blanket. But yeah, interesting energy. For me, we've got this cube that's inside this spiritual energy. So I feel this is a good way to kind of ride out Mercury too. is because it can be heavy on the earth in Mercury retrograde and heavy emotionally too. So really just making sure that you kind of buffer and you give yourself what they would say is like a wide berth for this Mercury retrograde period. Be easy on yourself, be gentle, be kind to yourself. Then towards the end of the week, where I really felt like an energy shift, and this was also where they were talking about an energy shift in relation to mid and end of February. So also we have, I think we're coming up to Valentine's Day towards next weekend. So for those of you that want to book a one-on-one private session, I do have the code word love for my 1 hour session, so you'll save some money booking that. I also do read for couples too, so if there's anyone thinking about Valentine's Day present, a lot of couples love having a reading where you can kind of look at how your energies interplay together. It's a lot of fun. I love couple readings. But yeah, we have 5 of swords and we have the energy of defeat, but I feel like this can go either way. So this is where they're really talking about being frequency specific, really tuning into those angelic energies that are around. So we can see with the 5 of swords, it feels to me it's more like about the mind, it's about the intellect. There's Venus energy with this. Also, we notice that going around Valentine's Day tends to be that make or break energy in terms of relationships. So in Mercury retrograde, it's also not really the time to have arguments. So like if you really are wanting to have that strong relationship with the partner, it's not time to sort of like blow a fuse. You want to talk calmly about things. You want to give people that benefit of the doubt. You want to give people that forgiveness, and you want to give them that energy of maybe they've had a hard day, and sort of give them, you know, a little bit of sensitivity. And it should go both ways too. But yeah, what I'm seeing with this, because this appeared to me energetically, I felt kind of like goosebumps and almost like a little bit of a prickly energy. There was positive and negative. I felt like it was bringing up the prickly stuff or a purging of some kind. And things sort of coming to light. So we have this Aquarian energy with Venus here. So this to me sort of speaks of, I guess, like revealing knowledge. It's no longer can things that are not true stay. Oh, thank you, Sky. That's so beautiful. Yes, definitely, Jason. Clear your path. Drop the baggage. Hell yes, definitely drop the baggage. We do not need it. Think about your life as a minimalistic living situation, and if you had to up and leave, what is it that really is important to you? This is a good time to think about with Mercury retrograde too. But yeah, the other thing with this Aquarian energy is we're going to be working with this Aquarian energy because we are in the age of Aquarius, but looking at the planetary alignments and things, it will be till about 2022, 23 is where I'm still seeing this anchoring and this shift take place energetically, because we are working with anchoring more of this blue flame energy that I talk about, which is more of an ascension energy onto the earth. So old programs are coming up to get deleted. So this is kind of like what I see for the week ahead. So if you missed the start of it, please jump back on later, but we're going to start taking some questions. They're just prompting me to pick 2 cards out of this deck. So, oh, this is perfect for what we were just talking about. So we have empathic starseed, and we can see that there's a beautiful mirrored reflection. So it says energetic sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. So sometimes when we're psychically feeling attacked, and Mercury retrograde, you will actually feel people thinking about you, especially if it's like ex-partners or friendships and things that may not have worked out. You'll feel energies of people thinking about you. It's also a time of temptation to contact these people. So unless you kind of want to open up a bag of mixed energy, just see how you feel like riding out the end of Mercury retrograde and see how you go. But yeah, we can see that there's a mirror up. So sometimes in psychic protection, if you feel energies or thoughts or projections coming towards you, you can actually put up a psychic mirror and deflect and send that energy back. So you're not sending it back with ill intent or harm, you're just literally mirroring back that energy. So Alicia is also saying, I relate to the purging and starting new. I would love a card if you feel the energy. We'll start doing them in a second. I've got one more just to read. So we also have Syrian energy coming up with these cards, bringing harmony and balance. We have the messenger. So this is a beautiful card. Empathic starseed, messenger. So So yeah, really working with those angelic energies, looking and reassessing with this new moon coming up. I think we've got new moon on the 11th. I'm just thinking about what sign it was in. It stumps me for now. I think it was either Aquarius or possibly Capricorn. I'm leaning towards Aquarius, but that's on the 11th. It's a time to reassess things. So it's the same sort of energy that we were getting with the cards too. So just having a look. Alicia, we've got Alicia Wells, then we've got Rachel, Joe Louise. I'm just taking some names. We've got Skylight, and we've got Jason Hillard, and we've got Max May, and we've got Laura Lou Blondie. Okay, and then we'll start taking some more. Let's see. So for Alicia, we're going for this deck tonight. All right, so we've got the, what one is this one? Work Your Light deck by Rebecca Campbell. We're just using this one at the moment. All right, so each deck I'll work with in a different way. So for this deck, sometimes I'll work and look straight at it. With my normal regular deck, I will actually tune into the energy of it. So we'll see how we go. So what's coming up for you right now, Alicia, is trust your path. We've got Lemuria, which has that past life energy. We were talking before about channeling Atlantean energies as well. And we have Dance with Life. So it's talking about like, with the Trust Your Path card, it says if you knew you were supported, what would you do? So this is connected to do with what we were talking about for the overall week as well, is really looking into, you know, like what is it that's important to you at the moment? What is it that you would do if you had that faith and belief in yourself? I'm also being shown, it's almost like Spirit is showing me like a duplicate. So if you could imagine yourself sort of like standing in front of yourself, and what is it that you would want to be told in terms of like praise towards stepping onto that path and having confidence? So creating heaven on earth is happening. Feels quite appropriate now to do with what those of us that are sort of light workers, or, you know, working with the spiritual energy, what we really want to be focused on. We also have Dance with Life, do something to change your energy. This is so important, and there's so many different tips and tools that we can use or work with to change energy too. So I really feel like that the first one for you, Alicia, about trusting your path. If you knew what you could, if you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So maybe it's about pushing yourself a little bit this week too. I also feel like there's possible potential for courses and different opportunities and things, or pushing yourself to study something, even if it's just like a weekend workshop or, you know, an hour's online webinar. They're just talking about like skills upgrading is what I'm feeling. And I feel skills upgrading, they're showing me a couple of different things. This is interesting. Getting the energies around the heart, but then I also saw food too. I felt like it was a mixture. So whether you might have a mixture of different things that you're thinking about at the moment. I did also see like a little bit of psychic stuff too. So then we've got, so I hope that helps. Then we've got Rachel, Joe, Louise. So let's pick a card out of this deck. Hello to everyone just joining us. We're going to try and get to as many as we can. So we're just taking some names at the moment. All right, so this one, I feel it's standing out. Let's read this one. Oh, and two cards. All right, so when I actually popped my hand over the cards for you, Rachel, Joe, Louise, what I felt was, and I heard, it was like a calling of goddess energy to the earth. And I felt like it was like feet on the ground. It was kind of like a recalibration and a recentering. Just felt like my energy was being just attuned, and I was like going into this primal type space. It actually felt really sacred and really, really beautiful. It felt reconnecting too. So let's flip this over. This is interesting. We have a Two of Swords, which is about peace. This was the one that I saw in a reconnecting to the earth. So whether you felt like that things have felt separate, because sometimes the Two of Swords will come up as two separate swords, but you can see that they're coming together in that heart space, in that blue lotus, which has that third eye activation ingredient, DMT. So in ancient Egyptian times, it would sometimes be made into a wine and used for psychoactive journeys. To have visions, to go on a vision quest, to be close to the earth in a way, to work with that plant medicine. The other thing that we have in this is lessons of the heart. I feel that sometimes this card speaks of lessons of the heart, and it also talks about cycles and timing. So look at where you were this time last year, and there's a Libra energy working with this moon cycle too. So this might be questions around love, I feel, is what it's sort of speaking to, because there is that green heart energy. There's a Libra Venus energy with this as well. And just looking at like how far you've come, they are showing me some kind of like block or something a little bit on the path, but I'm actually being shown by spirit, you know, say if you've got gum stuck, like chewing gum stuck on a path, and you get like a little scraper to get it off. Sometimes like you don't really want to touch it with your hand, and it can be a little bit hard to shift, but with the right tool it lifts off easy. Spirit is showing me this as a metaphor. So it might be really looking at like with a roadblock, looking at what kind of tool can you use to remove this, or it might be having to go ask for someone's help to like nut something out, or sort of seeking outside yourself is the energy that I'm seeing as a bit of a solution with this. The other card that we have is debauch, and I feel that this is that roadblock that it was talking about. So this is showing that good foundation. It's Venus and Scorpio energy, so there might be some stuff coming up for you this week in relation to hidden aspects around the past or older emotions surfacing. It's a little bit sludgy, is the energy, and really trust your gut, trust your feel. I feel that this card is speaking to that energy. So yeah, tuning in to really how you feel this week, especially over this Mercury retrograde period. So we'll pop them back in. I hope that that helps. So we're going to go to Skylight as well. Okay, we've got two cards jump out. So I saw one of them. I'm just going to flip that. We've got that Sanctity card, which is the Ten of Cups. So this is for Skylight. This is about abundance and completion. And Spirit's going like this. There's something that you might not be giving yourself enough praise around, or something that might feel complete, or something that might feel, it can even represent self-love sometimes, like filling your cup, really focusing on your heart energy. It's a really beautiful card. It does have a Christ consciousness overlay in the top part of the card, in the top of the Kabbalah tree of life. We do have a Mars energy too, so this could also sometimes represent that you may have had to have taken action to have this achievement. So they're really talking about like giving yourself praise, really stepping into this newfound confidence. And even if it feels small, tap into the energy of it and allow that to grow, is the energy of what I'm seeing with this situation. It feels like a feeling is the way that they're describing it to me. It's a beautiful golden cup. It's not filled with water, it's filled with light. So I feel that this is also possibly like, it feels like a little bit of a spiritual shift or a spiritual achievement, or it's just about to come about. So it still could be on the precipice a little bit and about to manifest, but I feel like it's almost like it's already here, is what Spirit's saying with this. Let's flip this other one. Oh, okay. So we have the Moon card. So with this, oh, thank you, Sarah. That's so lovely of you. So with this card too, for you, Sky, we have the Moon. And the Moon is in sort of like the darker underworld, and it cannot remain hidden. So what I mean by this is that it needs to be birthed. We have this womb, gateway, portal space between the two. Now, when this comes up for me, sometimes it's about releasing past life patterns, or people that are sort of like connected, how would I say, to us karmically. Sometimes this can be about releasing karma. So this may be connected to do with this card. There may be a sense of, abundance or completion around that. This is also looking at sort of like that connection with heaven and earth and how it relates. So it might be things happening on a spiritual level and looking them up on a physical. So say, for example, you bump your elbow and you look up what is spiritual meaning of bumping elbow, or like you sprain your ankle. What is spiritual meaning of spraining ankle? I feel like spirit is trying to send messages, number synchronicities, in order to release and birth that new energy, because I feel like it's either just there or you've just manifested it. The other energy that we have too is there's a Kabbalah letter, and with this it's sort of like almost two cities that are sort of separate. So it's like two different dimensions that are almost touching. So I'm trying to think of the movie they're showing me. They're showing me a movie. It's got Matthew McConaughey in it, and it's a space movie. So he travels into space, and what happens is there's different time zone or different energy on Earth compared to in space. So I think when he comes back to Earth, I think it's been like 30 years past, but in space it might have only been like a couple of days past or something. They're showing me this kind of like dimensional overlay. So I feel like the dimensions connected to do with your past life are really permeating into this physical, or feeling like the patterns and things might be playing out, but it's almost like spirit is just encouraging, going nearly there, nearly there. So very interesting. I feel like that could go into like a 1 hour reading, if that's something that you're into. If not, that's okay. But yeah, we have this beautiful gatekeeper Anubis energy. For me, he is the gatekeeper to the other realms and to the other worlds, not just the underworld. So I hope that this makes sense for you, Sky. Thank you, Rachel. So Rachel is saying, wow, thanks. I'm very much connected to Mother Earth and having upgrades at the moment. And yes, I feel as if I'm always waiting for love and trying to move my business forwards. Thanks, beautiful lady. You're so welcome. I'm glad that made sense to you. All right, so we have Jason. Let's pick a card for you. And then we'll pick some more names in a little bit. I've just got a couple on here at the moment. So for Jason, let's see what we have. Oops, we just had a couple fall out. So we've got 3 fall out. They're telling me this one first. Same card again. So this might also be a message for a couple of you. We've got the 10 of Cups again, which is satiety. But what we also have is, oh, this is very interesting. We also have the 10 of Discs. So this can symbolize that there is good energy coming. It's like that hard work, that trusting your gut, putting that energy and attention and effort in, paying off. So I feel like it's about reaping the rewards in a way, but we do have the Devil card thrown in. And I feel that this sometimes can be a little bit of the devil in disguise. So sometimes when we're doing good, we're on like the top of our game, or we're about to have something, there'll be a spanner thrown in the works. It can be the energy connected to do with this. This can be a stubborn energy too, or a stubborn personality, or someone that's very competitive. They can tend to be sort of like a high achiever. But yeah, the devil is in the detail, as they say. So sometimes it's expecting little hiccups or people to throw, ball bearings underneath you. But focus on these 2 energies. Do not let anyone throw you off the game, because you have beautiful cards this week. This is about embracing your confidence. It's really about stepping into your spiritual power as well. So yeah, really positive cards, just looking out for that little devil. It is Mercury retrograde, so could be that blast from the past trying to tip things upside down. So just paying attention to that. I hope that helps. So Sky is saying, thank you so much for the beautiful messages and your precious time, dear. All of your messages make sense to me. Blessings to you, dear. Thank you, beautiful. It means a lot to me, connecting to this beautiful community. So let's see, we have Max May. Oh, this was interesting. So the first thing that Spirit showed me with this is I almost feel like I can't get enough breath quite into my lungs. You're welcome, Jason. Hello to everyone just joining us. We're just picking some cards with some people at the moment, but we're about to take some more names soon. But yeah, the energy that I'm feeling with you, Max, is I feel like I want to take in more oxygen into my lungs. I just feel like whether it's some kind of like emotion, hey Steve, we're just going to take some more names in a sec. So whether this is about some kind of emotion sitting on your chest and feeling like you can't get this full breath in, It could be almost an anxiety type energy as well, but I feel like I just want to suck in more oxygen than what I'm getting in. There might be like a little bit of congestion or something too. So yeah, just feeling this energy. Let's flip these cards. Okay, so this to me, when I look at the cards, feels more of sort of like an emotional spiritual journey. So we have the card of swiftness. So this can sometimes represent it's a Sagittarian Mercury energy. So when we look at Sagittarius, it is the only card, or sorry, the only zodiac sign that has a weapon. And what I mean by that is it has the bow and arrow. So this is sometimes about like choosing where we need to be in life, choosing what it is that's important to us. Where do we want to aim? Where do we want to shoot that arrow? Because we don't want to misfire. We don't want to direct it to where it's not going to flow or where it might not be safe. So we have almost like a pyramid energy here. So pyramids represent energy. They also represent energy transmitters. So really looking at like where we're focusing our energy, we can see this little arrow thing is spiraling out of control. And this pyramid, this energy conducer or transducer is sitting on top of a square. So sort of sitting in connection with third dimensional reality, you have the ability to go above and beyond. See this rainbow path, when you head to a spiritual level and you start working with things on the top down, as well as the physical, I feel like you're going to get a lot more success and a lot more direction. This is kind of like an energy of almost there. But it's almost like you're in your mind too much connected to do with it. It's what they're showing me is it's like there's a spiritual lesson to be learnt, but the mind is keeping you at a certain level. It's really about meditating, getting that clarity and going to that next step. Hi, Jeannie. Good to see you on here. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense for you, Max. There is that Mercury too. So being careful not to be too much in your mind. We do have Prince of Wands also in here. So there is that spiritual energy where you can move forward when you do focus and apply yourself. So really beautiful energies to work with. Laura de Blondie, and then we'll start taking some more names. Just popping some cards back in. Oh, interesting. I just got a full breath back in when I put your cards back in, Max. So having a look with that energy, if there's something that you need to get off your chest or something that you feel is pinning you down or weighing you down, yeah, Spirit's really looking at like what do you need to get off your chest. All right, so Laura de Blondie, we have this one jumping up. So I'm going to go with this, and they're just telling me to pick two more cards. So this one, we have the Queen of Discs. So she's a really beautiful energy of, for me, I see this sort of like, it's disc, so it's connected to do with the earth and it's connected to do with like manifestation and physicality and things like that. And, you know, being that high achiever, but this is about resting too. So it's almost like sitting back and looking at what you've achieved, looking at like all of the hard work you've done. So if you've planted the seeds, it's now sitting back to look at all of the fruit that's growing around you. I actually feel that Spirit is saying to almost like relax into energy and take a look around you is the energy that I'm seeing with this. The other thing that I'm seeing too is we have this beautiful Merkaba light body energy that's encased on the end of her wand in a 3D cube. So this is also about like that spiritual activation on the inside, holding this frequency in this Queen energy. And I flip these other two cards. Yeah, there's cycles and timings going on too. We have the Five of Discs, which is worry. So something may not have panned out exactly as you might have planned or hoped for it, but it does feel that it's coming to a completion. Sometimes these completions can be hard. Asking for signs, how would I say? It's like sometimes we want to look for what was the reason behind something happening. Or we might not see it at the time. Sometimes we're too in it, or we're too in our mind. Now, this does have a Taurian energy behind it, whether that's relevant to you. The other thing that we have too is we have this Mercury energy too. So it might be like there was a lot of thinking going on. There may have been like a bit of conflict. There may have been, they're showing me Devil energy too. So this can also mean someone who's like interfering. So whether this like makes sense to you, but we do have a completion. We have a Venus and Aries energy too. So I feel that something that may have been happening may be coming to a completion, but I'm really seeing you in this like winning stage. So focus on this is the energy that I feel connected to do with this. So I hope that that helps, Laura. So let's have a look for some other names. Try and get through as many as we can. Hi, Jess. Let's pick a card for you, Jess Blossom. And we also have Pearl Scott. So we're picking for a relationship. And all right, so Jeannie Grimson, I'm hoping they have something strange things, smells going on, noises, and like someone who's right behind you. Oh, thank you, beautiful, for sending those stars. You're so sweet. We'll pop you down too. So Jeannie and oh, thank you for the confirmation, Laura Lou. Yeah, really go into your feeling because that Queen of Wands, I feel that she has a lot of wisdom. She has a lot more wisdom than she knows, especially on that spiritual level, being about that Wands energy too. So really tapping into this beautiful inner wisdom. It's not so much about listening to other people and especially excuses and things. But yeah, let me know if you would like a personal reading because it feels like there's a lot of energy and a lot of thinking, as you're saying, going on too. Thank you, Carrie. That's so sweet. So Carrie is saying, hey, Solreta, I would love a card tonight with guidance on my career. Having a tough time at the moment. What should I do? Let's see. And we have Sharon Lee. Oh, thank you, Laura Lou. I hope I'm saying your name right, by the way. So we have Sharon Lee. So what we'll do, let's pick one first for Jess Blossom. Okay, so Jess, some of the energies that I'm seeing with you, there's a couple of people tonight where I'm feeling this energy of like letting go and letting things stay in the past. And it could also be because of this Mercury retrograde energy that that is coming up at the moment. What I'm seeing for you, Jess, is it's this kind of energy. It's like something on a platter. Whether there's something coming back from the past, and it's like, would you like some of this? You know, thinking about it as a spiritual waiter coming in and offering an experience or a person or something coming back from the past. There's an energy of like full loop or full circle. It's like, did that really just happen? There's like a little bit of this. So this may not have happened just yet. So just paying attention to it. They're also showing me the number 5 as well. So looking out for symbols and synchronicities to do with the number 5 for you at the moment. Let's also see what we feel into this. Okay. Spirit is also, this is really random, Spirit is showing me the energy of a hippo. And what I know about the energy of a hippo is, they're just showing me, it's like the skin might be thick or there's sort of like a tougher exterior to this, but they're almost like big puppies is the other energy. Yes, they can sort of get into, like they can be aggressive, but it's like on the inside, I'm just sort of seeing this jovial, like fun-loving, giant puppy. Is probably more so to do with the way that they maybe feel on the inside. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, Jeannie. Yeah, the discount code is definitely till Valentine's Day in Australian time. I might even extend it so that it's just after Valentine's Day, just for my clients that are in the States and Canada. Yeah, hippos are so cool, aren't they? So yeah, everyone, the discount code LOVE on the 1 hour psychic readings will give you a discount. So I'm going to flip these cards. Oh, we're getting similar cards again. This is so interesting how Spirit will do this when we're in a collective situation like this. So if any of this kind of resonates with you, take what does and just leave what doesn't. But for said before, it's almost like spirit bringing this energy about. So we have a 5 of Swords. I feel like this is looking into having people that are authentic around you. So if there's anyone creating drama or anyone that you feel possibly like talking behind your back or different things like that, I feel that it's almost like the angels want to take a sword and defend you. So if someone's sort of talking or saying things that aren't of a positive light, I feel like Spirit's trying to defend you. So really paying attention to synchronicities. Trust your gut, trust your feeling. Don't be too in your mind about things or trying to intellectualize or trying to... Sometimes we will, we will try and analyze what it is that we're feeling. And these are two different message systems. The heart and the brain are two different message systems. So try not to overthink. Go with what you feel. I feel like there's reward happen when you go with what you feel. We have this 10 of Cups. So that is that heart energy. Really beautiful. Yeah, I definitely feel like that's the energy to focus on. Don't get caught up in others' negativity or trying to bog you down. The other thing that I'm also seeing too is people being needy around you. So really being selective of your energy and not being pulled down, not being roped into things that just don't resonate with you or things that you really don't have the time or energy or availability to be pulled into at the moment. So really watching overcommitment, especially for this Mercury retrograde period, is what I'm feeling with this. The other card that we have is the Science card. So this is a 6 of Swords. So I feel like communication, different things like that, this sort of represents this. I feel like for me, when I get this card too, it's looking at sometimes being pigeonholed or being boxed in or feeling like we have to explain ourselves. So this is like holding ground. We might feel like that we're backed into a corner. Oh, thank you, Jeannie. That's so sweet. I really appreciate that. So we have Mercury and Aquarius too. So this is like hold tight, batten down the hatches type energy. We have this energy too that we had a little bit in the first card. So it's being selective about your crew and who you hold close to heart, who you allow to come into your heart space. I feel this is about... This, I feel, is also about boundary setting, is the energy that I get with this at the moment. So I hope that helps. Trust your gut. And so we have Pearl Scott, and we were asking for around relationship. So remembering we are getting towards Valentine's Day. Let's see. All right, so remembering these are general reads and they're quite quick. In an hour-long session with me, we do have the ability to really dive deep and to explore multiple different topics and even check in on different situations and different connections as well. So this is for Pearl. All right, so we're looking around relationship. All right, so when I start to step into energies of the past, I'm feeling like a bit of a blow to the head, or I feel like something's almost like hit me on the head. Or whether it's like something giving a headache, I'm just sort of feeling like almost feels like a little bit of a head trauma. But yeah, the energy that I feel too is that coming up around past. I'm also feeling something around stomach or around gut. So whether something possibly like felt uneasy, but the Spirit keeps taking me to the head. So let's flip this card. So we have a Taurus, may or may not be a Taurus. This can also symbolize an earth sign too. So what else do we have for earth signs? Virgo is also an earth sign. This does relate to Venus, so sometimes it does relate to love. It almost looks like a packing of the bags and getting out of a situation. So this could be related to the past. I feel like I want to move further forward. So let's have a look into present and into future. I feel like there's a change between present and future. They're showing me yellow steps to do with now. So whether you go through you're going through a phase where you're like leveling up, where you're raising your standards, where you're learning more about self-development, or whether you're feeling encouraged to kind of like grow your, have an energy that matches your desires. So let's flip this card. Yeah, we have the Two of Wands. dominion, which sometimes can be a little bit chaotic, or sometimes to me this can represent a karmic relationship too, because we are reading around relationships. There is a bit of an overbearing kind of Mars patriarchal energy to this. We also have Aries too, which can sometimes be a little bit fiery and a little bit almost like a cutoff. So sometimes when there's a separation, we might be cut off from this energy, but we can work with the positive side of Aries too. But yeah, Dominion, this energy sometimes can also relate to, sometimes we'll get this take me to sacral area and womb space energy. This I feel is really the message with this for me, is to focus on using your own fire, to use and channel this Aries energy for yourself. So yeah, interesting energy. Let's flip this one to do with the future. Prince of Cups, definitely much more positive when we look towards the future. It's got a little bit of air and a bit of water. So this, I feel, is more about like manifesting on a heart level. We can see there's the cup energy, which is like more connected to do with how we feel about things and how we kind of like relate to the world in a feeling loving sense. So with that Prince of Cups, it's almost like a knight in shining armor, except he's naked. So he has this medicine. So this might be an energy coming in to do with the future that's going to be quite healing compared to some of the energies of the past. Or perhaps you're working on healing with yourself, because they were showing me a leveling up and a learning energy around relationship stuff to do with at the moment. There's room for growth is what I'm being shown. The other thing that we have is this Kundalini energy unfolding within the cup and the eagle eye vision at the top of the crown chakra. So this is about seeing things from a higher spiritual perspective, as well as really trusting your gut a lot more too. So I hope that helps. It feels like it goes towards a positive message too. So Jeannie, let's pick a card for you. And let me see. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. All right. So where do they want to go? Oh, they want to look into... Oops. 3 cards jumped out, and they're sending me 2 cards from this other deck. So they're telling me it's putting together a story. So we have a Prince of Swords coming in on a chariot. So this may have represented, now they're referencing Mercury retrograde, so this might represent someone from the past coming back. So they're telling me screening calls, or like screening messages and different things. So whether this will be a phone or a text message or like a social media message from someone coming back from the past, I feel like it might even be someone that possibly, they're showing me the energy between sort of like someone who may have been a little bit more harsh compared to your soft, beautiful, loving heart. So sometimes this is like a narcissist energy, or someone who perhaps struggled with addiction or anger or something like that. And it might even be just to a small degree, but I'm just seeing like a little bit of that, and they're showing me a difference in the energy. Then we also see the 10 of Discs. So it's like building yourself to a good place within. And you know, we can always have room for more, but this does have sort of that Virgoian Virgo type energy too. So it's almost like getting our things in order. Then we move to the Ace of Swords. So I feel like there's new connections to be had, new people, you know, to have in like your communication group, new like dialect. There's almost like a clearing of the old. And then we have the Knight of Cups, and we have the Justice, which is also sometimes the Judgment card in my other deck. So there's a knight in shining armor coming to bring through a bit more of a deeper level of love and a deeper level of compassion. So this can also sometimes represent yourself being that knight in shining armor. Oh, Sarah Kay has also said, it sounds like, oh, there you go. Jeannie just said, my ex just contacted me today on Facebook. That's the image that Spirit was showing me, was someone reaching out and contacting you. So yeah, really choosing, because they're showing me it's almost like a food source. So being careful that you're not an energy food source, that they're trying to get little hits. Because they're showing me it's like you're intoxicating, like a drug to them. Oh, there you go. Yeah, alcoholic. You can see that with their energy. But yeah, Sarah Kay said, sounds like you're reading me. Haha, I'm Virgo. Left a small narcissist. Okay. Yeah, good to leave the narcissist and to really focus on your beautiful, empathic, loving selves. But I feel that it's this knight in shining armor to really focus on, and whether it's, fulfilling and working with that beautiful heart and nurturing energy for yourself. I feel like the water has cleared. There's not even a bridge. It's not even water under a bridge. It's just like, where's that bridge? That feels like over and done. It's like being able to see the difference between, I guess, that energy that we talked about at the start, and then that knight in the shining armor. There's just a lot of contrast. But yeah, the justice, sort of like judgment card. This might represent you kind of like being that judge, or not having to physically deal out justice, but it's almost like they got their, what do they call that saying? Just desserts. Yeah, so bring him on. Let me know how you go next week. It will be interesting to see. But yeah, remembering if he's sort of like looking or feeling like this is a food source, and a lot of the time it's unconditional, because narcissists sometimes can have a vampiric energy about them. Some of them know they're doing it. That's when it's more like sociopath. So yeah, we're really looking at like, the funny thing is with them though, it's like when you cut off that food supply, they'll go and try and get that hit somewhere else. So just energetically bubbling up and protecting yourself is always a positive thing. So I hope that this makes sense for you. So Kerry, we're going to pick some cards for you, Kerry Burgess. Hello to new people just joining us now as well. All right. Okay, so Kerry, what they're showing me is Spirit showing me a net, and I'm hearing the word Skynet. And what I'm seeing is almost like trying to predict or trying to measure or trying to control. And what I mean by this is sometimes when we're trying to like feel into the future, we don't always just let things unfold. So we might wish for something and we keep checking in to see if it's manifested yet, or we will check in to see, I guess, is it manifesting the way in which I'm calling it in? And sometimes this will constrict, or our goal or wish will hit a net and then bounce back. It's almost like someone going, did you order this pencil? And we're like checking in to see if it's ordered. Or having something on lay-by, I guess is another way of describing it. Or putting your order in and then like checking every minute to see if it's ready. So sometimes in checking to see if something's ready or if it's manifested, we're kind of telling the universe that we don't trust that it's manifested, and that checking up is almost like getting that energy of, oh, it's not done yet. So they're really talking about release, and almost like release that spiritual safety net in a way for your manifesting, because they're showing there when you do that, it's like the sky's the limit. So let's flip this card. This is really cool. This is the Hermit. So I got it upside down too. So usually the Hermit is kind of like bringing that light and sort of like going into that dark cave-like space. And it's being that beacon of light to the world. We also have a Virgo type energy with this too. But what I'm seeing, like with this being reversed too, it might be time to really go back in, to find that light, to find that power within yourself. I'm seeing it as not cooked just yet. So I'm not sure what it is that you're working on manifesting, but let's pick some clarifying cards connected to do with this. But it's like Spirit is saying it's not quite cooked yet. Oh, thank you, Jeannie. So she's saying it does and it did. And once again, you are absolutely right. Absolutely love you. Thank you so much. You're so welcome. Always beautiful reading for you. Hi, Charlotte. I see that you're saying morning. You must be on the other side of the world. Good morning to you. And I'm just going to plug in my charger before this cuts out. Oh. Okay, so let's see. We're just picking some clarifying cards as well. This is for Kerry. All right, so they're giving me two. So yeah, really looking at what it is that you can do to tap in and manifest on a deeper level. I've got a camera thing in the way. So we have The energy of the sun upside down. This is another one. Look at this. Same. Both the suns are upside down in this picture, Kerry. So, oh, you're in South Africa. Lovely. I'm going to see if I can get to a couple more, but we're actually probably about to cut out. So, yeah, this is like about giving yourself that nurturing at the moment, being that sun to yourself. There might also be a couple of things that you need to do to like boost hormone levels or boost like your mood at the moment. So really paying attention, looking after and nurturing yourself. We also have one, what is this one? 5, 6, 7, 8. We have the 8 of Pentacles. So it's almost that you're almost there, but pay finer attention pay fine attention to detail and really look at what it is that you're feeling. So I hope that helps, Kerry. We're going to have a card for Sharon Lee. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Hearing Spirit say, they're singing a song, and this is so random. Oh, so what does the upside down mean? So the upside down is like the reverse. So the sun is the happiest card in the deck. So when it's upside down, it really is looking at that path of how we can get back to happiness. And sometimes it's actually about being in that space. So if we're not feeling happy, sometimes it's about like letting that emotion come to the surface and allowing ourselves to grieve. So there might even be, with Mercury retrograde, just feelings. It might even be like subtleness coming in from the past. So it's really like allowing that purge to take place. Oh, it just went quadruple 5. So 5, 5, 5, 5 when we talked about that. And sometimes 5, 5, 5, like 3 5s, is about like the end of something, or the finalization, or the cutting off. So looking at that in relation to that. The other one that we had was the sun upside down in the Hermit too. So it's really going within and nurturing yourself at the moment and getting back to that space and that emotional place that you need to be to feel yourself again, and to in order to manifest that that goal as well that we're talking about. So for Sharon Lee, I'm going to flip this. Oh, and that's what I was going to say. So Spirit was singing me a song, You Better Knock, Knock, Knock on Wood. So it's that song, I think it was from the 80s, You Better Knock, Knock, Knock on Wood. I'm not going to sing it. But we have 5 of Cups. So I feel like this is about changing your luck. I feel like they're showing me energy leakage. And what I mean by that is sometimes we can have things that will either drain or feed on our energy, or things that we're giving, and there's not a two-way street. So it's like you might be applying energy and attention and always caring and nurturing for someone else, but it's like if the role was reversed, it might not be the same. So I'm seeing this kind of energy here with this, showing you have a beautiful template. There might be a little bit that you need to get off your chest, or something that you may need to speak. We have the card of Valor, which is a 7 of Wands. Sometimes this can also represent exposing illusion. So, oh, you're so welcome, Kerry. Thank you. It's so beautiful. Sending you lots of love too. So yeah, looking into this card of Valor, for me, it really represents sort of like going back to that connection from physical self to the heaven. It represents sort of like shining, even like if other people don't want you to shine. It's really sort of like discarding other people's reality and illusion to me. The other thing that I also see is that there is kind of like this flowering on the end of the wands, and there is like a little bit of this winged almost like Isis-like energy, and there's an Ibis type energy as well. There's Leo and Mars. So this is about standing in your power, no matter what's been sort of like going on around you. So looking at where you can add more of this energy to life, I feel is going to benefit. It can be uncomfortable and hard sometimes shaking out that old energy. There is one beautiful reader that I see on YouTube, and I love it. When he gets certain cards, he sometimes will literally call like swords out of people. He's almost like a sword exorcist when it comes up in the cards. He's like, out, out, out. It's really cute. So looking at what it is that you need to call out of life, and how you can best focus on that true self of yours. And I just had this fall out for you, Steve, and they're wanting me to get another one. Oops, we've got 3 for you. So very, very quickly, we have Luxury, 4 of Cups. So paying attention to how you're feeling about certain situations. gloom in the background. Do not let it touch you. So don't let others drag you down or ruin your vibes. Stay in this Queen of Wands energy. She has this beautiful, fiery, spiritual energy about her. She's electric. She's on fire and transforming. So you might be going through a bit of a spiritual transformation at the moment, even though there could be some things lurking in the background. And we have Ace of Cups. So I do feel like there's a new opportunity around the corner for when you bring yourself into your power. They're saying February into March. I feel like it's after Mercury retrograde. So we also probably want to look at Mercury retrograde shadow too, which usually goes for 2 weeks on the end of it. So focusing on what it is with this Ace of Cups energy. You can see it's happening on 2 different dimensions, 2 different levels. So calling it in, being in alignment with this will help it to manifest a lot faster. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I do have my code ending on Valentine's Day, which is the code word love for the 1-hour private readings. We do an aura drawing, we do cards, we also look into different things that are coming up. So it's essentially taking an energetic photo of what's around at the moment. So I draw that in the aura drawing. I do cards to help dive deeper and give us more information around this, and also work with the guide. So it really is value packed. I highly recommend it. I have so many beautiful clients around the world. And I love my work so much, and I love connecting with you all so much too. So if you feel called for a reading, please take advantage of that discount code, which is love. Sending you all so much love. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Have a great week and enjoy the new moon on the 11th. Happy manifesting.